If you got a standard bore and you know it, clap your hands. Welcome back to the Dirty Old Boats, Trucks and Hose channel. Today on the Dirty Old 55, we're going to change directions. If you watched the last video, I was going to do the trick flow springs on the GT40P heads. We had the crane guide plates and the studs to change from 5/16 to 3/8. Not usable. Because what did I do? Well, what did trick flow do? Besides sending me to... Let me get in front of the camera with my gut. One thing they did me right on, I got 2 of the push rod link checkers. One thing that did not go right. So trick flow, apparently they're not able to get me the spring kit. I waited, I think it's been a month almost, and couldn't get it. They did get me the push rod length measurement tools. If you're not familiar with those, it's just a push rod with a all thread. You make it the length you need it, measure it, and order your push rods. Boom, done. Crane cams kit, not usable. Back to the story. They couldn't get me the dang springs. Some heads popped up. Right, if you watched the last video, I got these Speedmaster roller tippers, 1.7s. I just wanted to add a little bit to that stock cam. I don't really like a whole lot of lope. I do like it, don't get me wrong, but I also like to roll up. You know, where I come from, the old street racing game, you didn't want to show up loping because nobody would race you. And I'm talking about in a gambling scenario here. So you try to build everything to not have a lope. This is if you're trying to make money on the street. But that's a whole nother lifetime ago. That guy don't even exist anymore. So what this guy's trying to do, I picked up some heads off of eBay because Trick Flow couldn't get me the springs. I got some heads off of eBay for $500. I didn't know it at the time, but they're also Speedmaster 79. Now, this isn't a company that I've ever heard of, and I've just got these 2 parts from them. And the thing we want to do right now is see if these heads are even remotely usable before you even take them to a machine shop. Best case scenario, they don't even need to go to a machine shop. We'll just lap them, some lapping compound, and use them. We got the 027 gaskets. I like to keep the compression high. That comes along with the stockish cam. You're going to have to keep the compression high to make any power. Let's open this thing up. Let's take a look at this. We're going to use a couple of different machinist tools to check the deck flatness, things like that. Or not the deck, the head. Alright, let's open these bad boys up. I don't need this lapping compound right now. Useless crane cam, out of here. Boom. Alright, they come in a nice black box, which means they gotta be quality. Let's see what we got here. Alright. Boom. Now they said these were 202 intakes, I believe. Let's see if we can get on them. And they are 2050. 2050 intakes. Give or take a little bit because of the overlap. It may be the 2020s. If could get rid of the overlap. Let's take a look at, as you can see, I don't know if you can see this. It looks like somebody's already done a little bit of cleaning on these. Let's see if we can get that camera in here. It looks like somebody went over here where these valves are skirted and cleaned a little bit. We'll have to lay a gasket on there. We're gonna have to lay a gasket on there and see how much we can take off and clear the sides of these valves up. Especially right here at the spark plug hole, you can see this little kick out right here. I'm definitely gonna clean that up a bit. Looks like I got a little bit of meat. I can at least smooth that out and get a little bit more airflow there. Exhaust valve, not a problem. Very little cleaning. Let's see what kind of work they've done. They have drilled, I see they have drilled some drain holes. And they have something hanging out of there. I guess they didn't clean them. So yeah, you can see they drilled the holes, didn't clean the pieces out. Dual valve springs, or a spring with a dampener. I don't know if we're going to trust those or not. Being I'm using a stock cam, they may get trusted for now, because I don't think they're going to get much abuse. So I'm not going to spin this engine very fast. It's going to stay factory rev limiter. It's OBD2, so it'll do a good job of knocking all that. See what we got for. Got your normal freeze plugs on the end. Got your normal freeze plugs on the end. Sorry if I'm rambling. This is the first time I'm looking at these heads. Push rod holes, fairly clean. Got a lot of sharp edges. We'll have to clean those up. Let's see. Let's see the intake bowls here. Grab this light. They cleaned up under the valves, like where it makes this transition out. We'll have to pull out a valve to check it. The intake ports, let's see if we can get a good picture of this. The intake ports are runners. They got lots of meat on them. They're pretty small right there at the beginning. It looks like the push rod hole. It looks like there's plenty of meat just because the push rod hole is flat on the side, and inside the runner it's round. So we'll have to put some measurements in there and see how much meat we can take out of this runner. But that runner could be cleaned up. That's pretty small right there. They didn't, well, I mean, I didn't expect them to for $500, but hey, they left us some meat to work with there. We'll have to do some redneck engineering on that. Let's see what kind of work they did under a valve. We will check. Boys and girls, always use your magnet. As you see when I pop the keepers, this big old magnet trapped both of them. Bam, easy. Bam. Let's see what they did. We're going to oil up this valve seal. Pull this valve out of there. I don't know how good these seals are. this valve, so far, so far this valve, the guide seems to be excellent. Alright, looks like we're back. Those of you that use GoPro know that GoPro is the worst joke to ever be played on humanity. Did a whole video and I look at it and it says SD card failure. Typical GoPro BS. What a piece of junk. So I had done a whole video on this thing and nothing saved. So we're going to start this over. Let's see what I did last time. Last time I talked about, of course you didn't see the last time thanks to this sorry ass GoPro. Alright, I wanted to lay this head gasket on here real quick because I left off where the valve, where we took the valve out and the GoPro crashed. Let me find my valve. What I wanted to talk about with these head gaskets is, even though you may buy the 027 or something thinner, you also, if you have a standard bore, and you know it, clap your hands. I know some of you clap. But anyways, so I bought a 027 Cometic gasket and I got it standard bore because that's what I got. The reason why you want to run a standard bore instead of a bigger bore is because you will lose compression, and I'm probably splitting hairs, but you will lose compression if you get the bigger bore hole and you're only running a standard bore. Alright, other reason I'm looking at this gasket here, you can see the skirting along the side of the intake valve. This is a much bigger intake valve than what we had on the GT40P head. By the way, they label these as a GT40 head on the advertisement. So laying the gasket here, I can see that I could take a little bit of meat away from here. I'm going to lose a little bit of compression, but I've got a little bit of room. Let me get a shot of that. I've got a little bit of room right here to remove some material so the air can flow past the valve better. So we got that out of the way. If you run a thinner head gasket, make sure you get the smallest hole possible. I know a lot of you are chuckling right now, and that's probably good advice for a lot of things in life. Get the smallest hole possible. Keep your compression up. You don't want to be, you want to get them sidewalls close to this valve. You want to get them walls close to the valve without blocking the valve. Alright, I'm going to take this valve out because I'm not going to use it right now. Valve guides. This one, I have not taken all the head apart yet. All we did was pull this one valve out, but this one seems to be machined right. It looks like they did not go the extra step to lap these valves. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, none of these valves leaked. I did a whole test and the GoPro failed on me, and none of them leaked, but we're going to do it again. I got my water. I've got the head soaked down with WD-40 and oil because I'm going to take it all apart and lap the valves. It doesn't matter. They got water in them right now. Alright, here we go. We're going to do the intakes first. Put the old Kroger water in there. That's the kind of money I got, is Kroger water. Kroger water rich. Now we can only do 3 of these, but we can do all 4 of the exhaust. Alright, we did this earlier. You guys did not see, for reasons I have explained. Dry off this leftover water from the earlier test. F you GoPro. Be mad about that, ranting the whole video now. Alright, water test. These 3 intakes, no leaks, and that's exactly what I had earlier. As you can see, we got the chambers with water in them. Those 3. Boom, done. Trying to hold the light and the GoPro and try to not get mad. Dump this out on the shirt I got laying down here. Alright. We're going to go with the exhaust valve test. We can do all 4 of those. Now remember, this is a $500 pair of heads. There were no expectations for this head. The expectation was, yeah, hopefully it's got decent parts on it, and hopefully I don't have to buy all new valves and springs, because I'm using a stock cam 171 rockers. I'm not trying to spend a whole bunch of money on the valve train. All right, all four exhaust ports. Same result as the last test. No water leaking. Not a surprise, because we tested it for a while, but you guys didn't get to see it because of sorry ass GoPro. F you GoPro once again. As you can see, we have water in the chambers all the way to the tippity tops. You can see the oil floating on top of the water. Make sure these bad boys had oil in them, because I don't want any kind of corrosion, because I don't know what these valves are made out of yet. I'm going to test one of them with some salt water. If it's a stainless valve, I'll be even more impressed. And the reason I say that is, when I did this video the first time, these heads were perfect. At least this one is. Now, I have not tested the other one, and I'm definitely not going to have time to do it right now. But what we are going to do is test the flatness again, because I could not believe how flat these heads were. Let's see if I can get this where you guys can get a good view of it. Alright. Of course, my shirt I got laying on the ground over here is so... Alright, let's try to move through this flatness test. While I have the valve out, I put it right here. I want to remeasure it to make sure we ain't got nothing goofy. And we'll go back to 0. Go right across the middle. Let's see what this valve is. 2.0. So the outside of the valve that's it. 2.058. I think that's bigger than what they advertised. Huh. How about that? How about that? I'm not putting that back in. Wipe this old sweat off. Let's get through this flatness test. Hopefully the old GoPro don't crap out on me. We're doing this, the smallest one I got on my feelers, .006. Make sure we're clean. No burrs. Alright, here we go. Now I know this head's flat. I did it on the last video. I don't want to say I just said that. So we're going to do this. The thing doesn't, there's not even a spot where it gets stuck. last time I did this, I was thoroughly impressed. Well, now I can't hold the ruler. Like I was saying earlier, the thing is flat, unbelievably flat. I mean, I can't even take off. It doesn't even get stuck anywhere. I was expecting with this feeler gauge to at least be stuck somewhere. Not even stuck anymore. Completely flat. Thoroughly impressed. $550 for repair. The valve's sealed. If I would have bolted these up, at least this head, I still got to check the other head and I'll update the video if it's bad. I'll also update the video if this is not a stainless valve. It looks stainless, but it could just be cleaned up metal with oil on it. It looks like it's stainless though, and it looks like a good valve. The ramps are nice on the side. I've got no problem with this valve. If it ends up being stainless, I'll use them. The valve spring is pretty decent too. Alright, for the sake of time, since I have been trying to make this video for a couple of hours now, this was labeled as a GT40 head. So it takes 7/16 rocker studs. 7/16 rocker studs. The crane kit I had was to change the GT40Ps over from 5/16 to 3/8. I had already bought the roller tippers for 3/8 studs. So I tried to buy 7/16 roller tippers, and the only ones I could find were 1.73s. Not going to work on the 302. So I had to buy 7/16 bottom, 3/8 top studs, small block Ford comp cams. I don't know what I did with the box. It may say it on here. Competition cam, says it on the guide plate. They bolt up. 3/8. Hold on, I got one out of the package. In case you didn't watch the last video, I got the Speedmaster. I didn't know I was buying Speedmaster. I just saw they were on sale at Jegs. They showed up and they're called Speedmaster. They ended up being some chrome moly roller tippers. I was expecting just some really cheap steel, some old black steel with a roller tip on it. This exceeded my expectations. Me being a gambler, you know, I'm gonna run it without a bearing. That way it's noisy and people think I got a trash engine. And after we get the money worked out, I'll go throw some bearings in it, you know, and then run them. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Don't freak out on me. All right. Competition cams. Competition cams. Guide plates. Done. 7/16 bottom. 3/8 rocker studs. Done. 1.71 roller tip rockers. 1.71 roller tip rockers. Done. Bearings, don't need them. We do need the nuts. I'm kidding. That's what I got. Highly, highly, highly satisfied. with this head. I don't know how this head came like this in this shape for $550, but it did. And I think we're going to lap the valves. I'm going to test out that valve over there to see if it's stainless. If it is, I'm going to run it, and I will update how it runs. Remember, this is going to be a stock cam, a little bit higher compression, 171 rockers, because I've got the OBD2 version of the 5.0. So I'm trying to keep it that way because I like it. It sits here for weeks and weeks and weeks and then fires right up when I need it. I like it. I want to keep it that way. I'm trying to keep this real mild, but make some more power. Hopefully I don't have to move up on injector or anything. I don't think I will. I think it's got room enough to make this little bit of power. I think we've gone over everything. I'm going to cut it off right there. Hopefully I did not short you guys on anything because of this GoPro. Once again, F GoPro. Like and subscribe. Ring the bell. Thank you for watching. I'm out.